Bethany and Kristen from Girl Defined Ministries, and we're here to bring you a 4-part video series titled 4 Secrets to Brave and Bold Womanhood. Today, we're going to go into video 1, Counterfeit Womanhood, You've Done Me Wrong.
So basically, what do you think of when you think of a really beautiful woman, or you think, oh, she's the woman? I think a lot of us, when we see those posters of perfect models, when we see the magazines, when we see beautiful women in movies, we think, oh, she is the definition of womanhood. She has it all. She has the money, she has the guys, she has the fame. She basically can get whatever she wants. Everybody wants her. And we think, wow, she has it all. She is the real deal. But actually, what we see isn't really what you get. It's not quite as glamorous or as fulfilling as Hollywood makes it out to be. So a few years back, I actually had the chance to do a little bit of modeling, and I got a peek behind the scenes to discover what the modeling industry is really like. And so here's a few things that I discovered. The confidence that you see in these pictures and the beauty that you see in these pictures isn't always what you get behind the scenes. So one thing I noticed as time went on, in order to get jobs, I had to be the prettiest girl. So if I was the prettiest girl, I would get the jobs. If a company didn't want me, it meant that they wanted someone else more. So without even realizing it, I honestly started basing a lot of my worth and value and my identity on whether I was pretty enough or not, and whether people wanted me. When people wanted me, I felt like I was worth something. When they didn't, I felt like my worth went down. And that is one of the biggest lies in the industry. And another thing I noticed is that behind the scenes, all those happy smiling faces, all of these perfect lives that we see on TV and on the posters really aren't there. So many of the girls I knew were really insecure. They were struggling with basing their worth and their identity on their looks as well. And in fact, we've read a quote from a famous supermodel who actually said that in the modeling industry, the famous models that she knew were some of the most insecure women. So the truth is, what we see on the posters, what we see on the magazines, what we see on the TV isn't actually the true definition of womanhood. It looks good, it smiles, it looks pretty, but it's actually counterfeit, because behind the scenes, that version of womanhood does not offer women the fulfillment that we're truly longing for. I don't actually have time to share all of my modeling journey with you in this video, and Bethany has her own story as well, but in chapter 4 of our book, Girl Defined, we actually dive more into our modeling story and share more about counterfeit womanhood and what we discovered.
Sadly though, without even realizing it, a lot of us are slowly but surely buying into this message that our worth is really based on our beauty and our accomplishments. We're believing the lie that true womanhood, really being a real, important, valuable girl, is based on how pretty we are, or how pretty other people think we are, and how much we can accomplish in the culture's eyes. That's where the lie comes in. And that brings us to our secret for today. Secret number 1 is recognize that the culture's version of womanhood is counterfeit. That might seem kind of basic to you, but the first step to brave and bold womanhood is to realize that the image and the version of womanhood that is displayed to us in our culture is counterfeit, and it's really not all that it's cranked up to be, and that God has something better. And if we are brave and bold, we can discover that. We've actually sadly believed some of the lies ourselves, and we're wondering if you've ever believed any of them as well. Here are a few, see if you can relate. Pretty girls are worth more.
Having a boyfriend or husband will totally fulfill my emptiness.
Having a perfectly toned body will give me lasting security.
I'd be completely happy if I had more money and nicer stuff.
Being famous would make all my problems go away.
Having a prestigious career is the answer to true success. So how'd you do?
We have actually believed a lot of those lies
In the past, and we're guessing you probably have too, because counterfeit femininity, that is what our culture is presenting as the ideal woman, and that's totally counterfeit. Like I shared before, one of the lies that I was believing is that in order to be worth something and valuable, I had to be pretty enough. I had to be prettier than all the other girls, then I was reaching my ultimate worth and fulfillment. But it really didn't work. In chapter 3 of our book, Girl Defined, we actually dive into what we call 3 pillars of counterfeit femininity, and break down exactly what those 3, what we think are the biggest lies of our culture that women are buying into. That's totally counterfeit. It's not God's design, but it looks so appealing, so glamorous, so we buy into them, and then we're not fulfilled and we wonder why. So we actually break those down in chapter 3 and show you what those are and help you discover if you're buying into them, if you're believing them, because we have totally done that in the past.
In fact, I believed a big lie when I was younger. I believed that if I had more tan skin, that I would be more attractive and ultimately be more valuable. I have really pale skin, super, super pale, very white.
Is she blending in with the wall? I don't know.
Okay, can't really tan at all. But I wanted to try because I wanted to be tan because I thought I would be worth more. So I remember it was me and Kristen and a friend, and we were out trying to get some sun, and I kind of just totally lost track of time and forgot that my skin doesn't do well for long hours in the sun. We were literally out there for hours on end, and at the end of the day, I noticed that my legs were really, really, really red. The next day rolled around, and I started getting these massive blisters. My legs were literally completely scorched, like scarred basically. And so it took me so long for my legs to finally, the blisters to go down, for them to finally heal. And actually to this day, I still have like scarring on my legs from the massive scorch that I got the day. It's really, really a bummer.
I'm not laughing.
I know, but it's kind of funny because we like the scorched legs. Basically, I realized through that, you know, God gave me my white skin, and I don't need to be tan in order to be more valuable. It was a hard lesson to learn, but that's something that I came to realize that is a counterfeit lie that I'm believing, that in order to be valuable, I need to be tan, because that's not the way God made me. So that's something that I learned, and I'm now embracing my white skin. And if you have white skin, we can be white skin girls together.
Payla's back in.
It's true.
Girls, in this video, we really want to challenge you to ask yourself and try to figure out which lies that you are personally believing, because we've believed a lot of them and it's left us totally empty and unfulfilled. And so we want to encourage you to figure out which lies you're believing for counterfeit womanhood. Listen to this quote from our book, Girl Defined, coming from chapter 2. It says, "The moment we allow culture to define our womanhood is the moment we take our first wrong turn." Basically what that's saying is the moment we look to the culture, the moment we look to Hollywood, the moment we look out there for answers about our womanhood and our identity, the moment we base our worth and our value on what the culture says, is the moment we take our first wrong turn. What we see out in the culture looks good, it's glamorous, it's beautiful, but it's actually not God's best for us as women. So the moment we take our first wrong turn is when we take our eyes off of God's word and his truth for womanhood and look to the culture for answers about our identity.
So remember, the first step to becoming a brave and bold woman is to recognize that the culture's version of womanhood is counterfeit. We want to invite you to join us in the next video to discover the power of embracing God-defined womanhood, and to discover secret number 2 to becoming a brave and bold woman.
I just feel like there's a hair flopping.
Okay, ready? 3, 2. That was a
A
lot
lot better.
Okay, so it doesn't ever.
Please be recording.
Okay. Is that the secret?
Yeah.
Of womanhood is counterfeit. Okay, cracked up to be. I have no idea what I'm saying. I don't know how this is gonna work. Okay. Oh, I thought that's why we switched it, so we could each go.
Oh.
Okay.
I feel like we're more like let's just try to loosen up a little bit.
And we'll watch it after, and if
Yeah.
it's horrible, we'll redo it.
What am I saying? 3 pillars.
3 pillars.
What chapter is it?
But I'm gonna laugh at your scorch legs because it's so funny.
Which womanhood?
Is it still filming? Yeah.
That was so cheesy.
Okay, take 450 on video 1.